All right, so thanks for joining me. This is Kurt Berglund back with a 3-inning demo of the Baseball Classics Premium Intermediate game. And we're using the 1973 New York Mets and the 1974 Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to say this game is taking place in Shea Stadium. Lopes will lead off, and he's going to face Tom Seaver. I'm not going to make a big deal out of the lineups here because it doesn't really matter, but just kind of showing you gameplay. Lopes leads off against Tom Seaver. Going to show you how reading the dice work. It's a 0, so you know that it's going to be on Seaver's card. If the white die is a 0, it goes on the pitcher's card. If it's a 1, it goes on the batter's card. Then we're going to add these 3 dice. A 1 plus 4 plus 3 is an 8. Now we're going to look on the premium card, and Lopes is a right-handed batter. Seaver's facing Lopes, the right-handed batter. And this, an 8 down here, is a foul out. FO is a foul out for Lopes, and that's 1 man out in the Dodger first. Next man up is Bill Buckner. All right, so Seaver throws to Buckner, and the pitch goes like this. It's a 0, which means it's still on Seaver's card. Then we add up the other the D6s. 4 plus 1 plus 2 is 7. And Buckner's a left-handed batter. So we have a 1B of a single possibility, but it's in a bracket. And so when the result is in a bracket, and you'll find these on either hitter cards or pitcher cards, then you have to re-roll the binary die and look at a chart. And that chart is right here. And if it's a 1, you use the outcome that you have in brackets. If it's a 0, you change the batter result. Well, I rolled a 0. The batter result was a single, and it now becomes a ground out asterisk, which means that if there was a runner on base, the runner would advance 1 base. So this asterisk, this was a 50-50 chance of Buckner losing his hit. He did because I rolled a 0. If I'd rolled a 1, he'd keep the single. But now it's a ground out, and there's 2 gone in the Dodger first, and now it's Jimmy Nguyen against Seaver. The pitch to Nguyen. Whoop. Throw this back in there. And this is a 0 still on Seaver's card, and now we have an 8. And he's a right-handed batter, and an 8 is an FO, which is a foul out, a fly out. And that retires the Dodgers 1-2-3 in the first inning, just like that. So with most of these plays on Baseball Classics, you'll resolve in 1 roll. Occasionally, you'll need a second roll. We have not rolled an outcome that needs an error check yet, and that would be if the green dice produce a 2, 3, 11, or 12 outcome. We haven't had that yet. Maybe we won't. We'll see. Okay, now Don Sutton is going to face, for the 74 Dodgers, is going to face the 73 Mets. Wayne Garrett leads off. The pitch from Sutton is a 0-12. And so we look, Garrett's a left-handed batter. We see a GO, which is a ground out. So Garrett is gone in the first inning. The green dice did not come up with a 2, 3, 11, or 12, so we don't do an error check. Garrett is out. Felix Nguyen is the second batter for the 73 Mets. He's facing Sutton. The pitch to Felix. Still on the pitcher's card. We have a 6, a 5, and a 6, which is a 17. The 0 keeps us on the pitcher's card. And here we have a walk in parentheses. So we have to check that bracket again. We re-roll the binary die. Remember, if we roll a 1, we keep the walk. If we roll a 0, we move to the chart that we looked at before that looks like this. If we roll a 0, the walk changes to a pop-out. but I rolled a 1. So we keep the walk, and Felix Mian is aboard with a walk. We have 1 on with nobody out, with 1 out in the first inning. And now it's Mets right fielder Rusty Staub. Sutton ready to pitch to Staub. The pitch to Rusty is another pitcher outcome. We're good at rolling the zeros on the binary die today. This is, Rusty is a left-handed batter, of course. 16 is a ground out. We have a runner on first, so that becomes a fielder's choice. Not a double play, that's a separate outcome. Rusty Staub is safe on the fielder's choice. And there's 2 outs now, and Staub is on first. Mian is out, forced at second base. Now it's Cleon Jones with 2 outs and Staub on for the Mets. Here comes Sutton's pitch. Still on the pitcher's card. This is a 5 plus 1 plus 3 creates a 9. So we have a strikeout in brackets. So I have to roll the binary die again. I get a 1, so we keep the outcome, and that's a strikeout for Jones, and that ends the Mets first. So we're scoreless after 1 inning in our 3-inning sample game. Let's see how Seaver does against the 74 Dodgers in inning number 2. He'll face Steve Garvey first of all. The pitch to Garvey, and we have our first batter's card look up, because we have a 1 on the binary die, so that takes us to the batters. Baseball Classics instructions say a 1 looks like a bat, so you know that goes to the batter. We have a 5, a 6, and a 1, which makes 12. Seaver's a right-handed pitcher, so a 12 against a right-handed pitcher is a ground out for Garvey, and there's 1 man out in the second inning. Next up, Joe Ferguson, catching for the Dodgers today. He's a right-handed batter. Here's Seaver's pitch. It's a 0, so we stay on the pitcher's card. 2 plus 3 plus 6 is 11. It's a strikeout in brackets. Strikeout in brackets, we re-roll, and we have a 0, which means we have to consult the chart. And a strikeout becomes a line out. The strikeout in brackets becomes a line out when you roll the 0. So that's a line out for Ferguson. And if there was a hit and run, that would turn into a double play. Now it's Willie Crawford, a left-handed batter, to face Seaver. With 2 outs in the second inning, pitch to Seaver. Now this is on the hitter's card again. It's a 1. 1 plus 6 plus 6 is 13. That takes us to a yellow outcome, which is a straight walk. A straight walk. These are color-coded. The walks are yellow. The strikeouts are blue. The outs that are not strikeouts are red, and the hits are green. So yellow is a walk, and Willie Crawford draws a walk with 2 outs and in the top of the second. Now it's Ron Say. Ron Say, of course, is a right-handed batter. The pitch is a 0, so it's on Seaver's card. A 14 on the 3 D6s is a base hit for Say. Now, that sends Crawford immediately to second. We can send him to third if we wish. So how does that work? Well, he's got a yellow run rating, so he's the second best kind of base runner. And let's send him. I know you don't want to make the third out at third base, but let's do it anyway. Let's risk it anyway. So here we go. We're going to look at the chart for base running, and we're going to roll our D6s. So Willie Crawford is on second base. He's getting waved on to third base. The results that are red are outs. The results that are green are safe. If it's a 0, he's safe only if it's 2 outs, which there are right now. And if it's a diamond, he's safe if the fielder is a red fielder. So we're going to roll our die and see where the ball was hit. Say is a right-handed batter. We rolled a 3. He hit it to the opposite field. That's to Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub, I want to say, was not a red fielder. He had a pretty good outfielder. But let's find out. Let's look it up and find out. Rusty Staub is a yellow outfielder. So he had a good, or a better throwing arm. Actually, in real life, he had a great throwing arm. Now we're going to roll for our outcome. Here's our outcome for Willie Crawford making it to third base. We're just going to roll the 3 D6s and look at the yellow column. There they are. So we add them up. 1 + 1 + 2 is a 4. A 4 is a 0 outcome. We know the 0, he's safe if there's 2 outs. There are 2 outs, so Crawford makes it to third base. And Say is at first base, safe on the single. So it's first and third now against Seaver for the Dodgers. And with 2 outs, that's going to bring up shortstop Bill Russell. On deck is Don Sutton. So that takes care of base running. The pitch to Russell is a pitcher result on the 0 and now 4. So versus a right-handed batter, we get a yellow result. We know the yellow results are walks, so Seaver walks Russell, and the bases are now loaded for Sutton. Sutton's hitting card is a 2. It's a generic hitting card like lots of games use. We're going to look in the versus righty column because Seaver's a right-handed pitcher. If the roll takes us to Sutton's card, it does not. The pitch goes to Seaver's card. 2 + 1 + 1 + 3 is 5, and that's another yellow outcome. Seaver walked in a run. Willie Crawford scores. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Now with 2 outs and the base is still dripping with Dodgers, it's Davey Lopes. Seaver's pitch to Lopes is going to be on Lopes' card. It's the 1, so that takes us to the batter. 5 + 1 + 2 is 8, and that is a line out, and that ends the inning. So 1 run scores out of all that thanks to 3 Seaver walks, and it's 1-0 Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the second. Don Sutton back on the mound, and here come the Mets. It's Milner, Grody, and Hahn coming up for the 73 Mets. Sutton's pitch to Milner, 0, so it's on the pitcher's card. 12 takes us here, and it's a ground out because Milner's a left-handed batter. So the 12 is a GO ground out outcome, and there's 1 out, and there's no need for an error check because we didn't roll a 2, 3, 11, or 12. Here comes Grody with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Sutton pitches. It's on Grody's card because of the 1. 6 + 2 + 2 is a 10. Against a right-handed pitcher, Grody singles. So he's aboard. Now, do we want to steal? Grody's steal rating is a red triangle, which is the worst there is. And let's just say you don't want to do that. So, next is Don Hahn with 1 out and Grody at first. He could bunt. A blue bunting rating isn't bad. Sutton's pitch, a 0 puts us on Sutton's card. An 8 total is a single in parentheses. So in the bracket, we re-roll. It's a 1, so you keep the bracket outcome, and it's a base hit for Hahn. Now we look at Grody's running rating, and it's red. Jerry was not quick in 1973, and so we're going to not send Grody to third or try to send him to third. So Grody stops at second, and now it's Harrelson. But Harrelson's up, Seaver's on deck. There's 2 men on. Sutton's pitch to Harrelson is a 0, so it's on the pitcher's card. A 14 is the total, and this is a base hit for Harrelson. Oops, sorry, no, it's not. Harrelson's a switch hitter, so he's batting lefty. So this is a ground out asterisk. Ground out asterisks advance the runners And so now they move up to second and third, but Harrelson is retired at first. So now there's 2 outs, and Seaver is up. This is Seaver's generic hitting card. Right-handed pitcher is on the mound, so we're going to look in that column to resolve the result. The pitch is a 0, Sutton's card. A 13 is the result, and this is a flyout for Seaver, and that's 3 outs in the second. Mets don't score. We go to the third, we're going to do one more inning, and that will walk you through a premium game for baseball classics. Seaver back on the mound. He'll face Buckner, Nguyen, and Garvey for the Dodgers. And we'll see if we can set up a stolen base situation for you here. Seaver's pitch is a 1, so it's on Buckner's card. We get a 14, which is a single. A 1B is a single, and Buckner's aboard. Now, we have a stolen base situation, because in 1974, Bill Buckner could fly. So let's look at the stealing rating. The stealing rating for Buckner is yellow. That's the second best kind there is. And let's look and see what he would need to do to steal second. We're in the intermediate game now. We're looking at these charts. The stealing is the second chart. Buckner's rating is yellow. So we roll 3 D6s and look at the chart. Our 3 D6s are coming right now. This is a 3 plus 2 plus 6 is 11. So Buckner gets a red outcome. The red outcome is the runner is shot down trying to steal. So Grody shot him down. Throwing to Felix Nguyen for the tag. So that throws out Buckner. That's all you do for stealing. So Buckner's out. Now it's Jimmy Nguyen. Alrighty. Jimmy Nguyen against Seaver. It's going to be on Seaver's card because of the 0. We add up the total. It's a 9, and that's a pop-out. Nguyen is retired. No error check needed. And Garvey is at the plate with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Pitch from Seaver. The 1 tells us it's Garvey's card. 4 plus 4 plus 3 is 11. That takes us to, against a right-handed pitcher, a base hit for Garvey. And he's aboard with 2 outs. Now it's Ferguson. Ferguson against Seaver. 2 outs. The pitch, Seaver's card, 2 plus 1 plus 3 is a 6. It's a base hit for Ferguson. We'll check Garvey's running. He's green, but there's 2 outs, so we're not going to risk that. We'll let Crawford try and knock him in. And Seaver pitches to Crawford now. It's a 1, so it's on Willie's card. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is a 4. And that, my friends, is a home run. A 3-run dong for Willie Crawford. And we have our first home run of our little sample game here. It's 4-0 Dodgers. And Seaver allows a bomb to Crawford. With 2 outs and nobody aboard now, it's Say. 1 tells us it's on the batter's card. 7, it's a flyout in parentheses, so we're going to re-roll the binary. It's a 1, so we keep the outcome, so it's a flyout. So it's a 3-run third for the Dodgers. They're ahead 4-0 as we go into the bottom of our last inning of our sample game. This is Sutton now, going to face the top of the Mets order, Garrett, Nguyen, and Staub. Pitch from Don is a 0, so it stays on his card. 12 for a left-handed batter is a ground out, and there's 1 gone. Most of these are resolving with 1 roll, and that's the kind of nice thing about Baseball Classics. It also has very few charts. Most of the action you can refer to right on the cards. 1 puts it on Mion's card. 5 plus 2 plus 6 is 13. That's a line out. Felix is out. And now Rusty Staub. Pitch from Sutton. 0 puts it on Sutton's card. 0, 3, 1, 5 is a 9. Against a left-handed batter is a pop-out, and that retires the Mets in the third. That concludes our sample game of Baseball Classics Premium Cards Intermediate Rules. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you have questions, please put them down below. If you would like to see me do an entire Baseball Classics game using these rules so you can get a better sense of it, including things like bunting and probably some error checks, put that in the comments as well. I'd be happy to do that. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you have a good day. So long, everybody.